What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some insanely spicy battles in the Open Great League running a triple shadow, triple elemental fang, triple dog theme team. Now of course I know Mightyena is supposed to be a hyena, and after doing some research I found out that hyenas are actually more closely related to cats than dogs despite their appearance, but I wanted to include it in this theme anyway, and as well I wanted to have a representative of each of the three elemental fangs, and Mightyena does learn all three of them, so it made the team a lot easier to build. So on the Mightyena I'm running Ice Fang because of course on the Arcanine I'm running Fire Fang, and on the Manectric I'm running Thunder Fang. So I'm not typically a fan of these heavy fast move pressure teams, but these elemental fangs are nowhere near as toxic as Charm and Razor Leaf, and actually the damage output is exactly the same as Counter, only the energy generation is a lot lower. But with that being said, this is a triple shadow team, so of course we are still going to have some pretty high fast move damage output, and you will see that some opponents just aren't prepared for that, and they do end up losing the match with both shields remaining. So before we get into the battles, let's begin with the question of the day. Excluding Charmers and Razor Leaf users, which attack weighted Pokemon do you like to run with a hard hitting fast move to absolutely mow through your opponent's teams without any real need to throw a charge move? Let me know in the comment section below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so going into the first battle here, we lead into a Scrafty, an awful lead for us, so I'm going to instantly safe swap into the Arcanine here. My opponent is staying in before eventually swapping into the Talonflame here. We do have the Wild Charge, which will hit for massive super effective damage, but they do shield it, and as well they throw their charge move straight away, so I'm just going to let the Arcanine go down here. Flame Charge takes us out, and I'm going to come in with the Manectric here, go for the Thunder Fang farm down, and they're just barely able to get to one more charge move before they go down, so that is unfortunate. And I'm expecting something that counters Manectric to come in, but they came in with Skarmory, but unfortunately I switch out straight away, so a bit of a misplay by me. But they come in with the Scrafty here. We're going for a Poison Fang up against the Scrafty, and we get the final shield up against the Scrafty. And now if we can somehow Thunder Fang farm down the Scrafty before they're able to take me out, then I should be able to leave this matchup with a Wild Charge loaded, and this Skarmory, almost at full health, is not going to appreciate the Wild Charge, and boom, we take him out, and somehow we take that game one there. So this was the very first game when I was running this team, and that was absolutely insane. Going into the next battle here, we lead into a Walrein. Unfortunately we're running the Ice Fang there, so not very good for us. I switch into Arcanine, and this isn't enough energy for the Earthquake, but I was sitting there wondering, why would they throw so soon? So I shielded it up. Massive mistake by me. I should have just trusted my gut instincts there, and unfortunately it does cost me, because now they get to the second Earthquake and they force both of my shields. They come in with a Nidoqueen, but luckily I'm able to get to the crunch here on a CMP tie with the Poison Fang, so that is the best case scenario in this matchup. They're gonna undercharge the Poison Fang, so they do get one extra poison jab. A nice play, but it's not going to make much of a difference here, as they're still only going to be able to get to one more Poison Fang before they go down here. I'm going to instantly swap into the Manectric. I'm able to Thunder Fang farm down the Walrein. They come in with a Trevenant. I'm going for a Wild Charge. This is resisted, but the Wild Charge does so much damage that I'm able to Thunder Fang farm down the Trevenant before they get to back-to-back charge moves to take me out. Into the next game, we lead into another Walrein, so not very good for us. Once again, I'm going to swap into the Arcanine. This time I definitely know that's just an Icicle Spear. Not really sure why they chose to throw a resisted move, especially when they have a really good answer to the Arcanine here in the form of Altaria. They do shield the Wild Charge, which definitely wouldn't have been able to take them out, and now I can come in with the Ice Fang, Mightyena, shield once, they go for the Moonblast, meaning that I'm easily going to be able to fast move, farm them down. I'm going to try to switch into the Manectric, but my switch clock isn't up yet, so I go for a Crunch up against the Walrein. I come in with the Manectric here. I'm going to shield this up, and then hopefully I can fast move, farm them down. I'm not able to, but they come in with the Ninetales here. I'm going for a Wild Charge. This will easily be able to boom, the Ninetales, and I'm going to be able to fast move, farm down the Walrein, and take that game. Into the next game, I lead into Defense Form Deoxys, and I'm going to be honest, I have no clue what to do here. So I do stay in initially. I'm going for a Poison Fang just before we get to the crunch, just in case they were running Rock Slide and chose to throw, but they're not, and they also know their counts with Ice Fang, so they choose not to shield. I'm coming in with the Manectric, hoping they throw a Thunderbolt, because if they do, I'm going to just barely be able to fast move, farm them down. But they have a Swampert and down a shield. There was no way I was going to be able to win that game, so I do concede the match. Into the next game, into another Walrein, and this time my opponent hard counters me with a Swampert here, so things are really not looking good in this matchup. But the game is still early, so I am going to play it out and see if there's anything we can do to somehow win this game. They're going to go for another charge move here. I'm going to let this go through. We can just barely tank a Hydro Cannon. I'm going for the Poison Fang. It's resisted, but it should pressure them into throwing another charge move if they want to take out this Mightyena. So they're going to throw the Hydro Cannon here with 1 HP remaining, meaning I can Thunder Fang, farm them down. They come back in with the Shadow Walrein. They go for a charge move, and at this point it looks like I'm going to be able to Thunder Fang, farm down this Walrein. If they came in with the Walrein, what do they have in the back? They have a Talonflame, and can I farm them down? Yes, I can, and I'm just barely able to. I survive with about 2 HP remaining, and somehow I'm able to take that game. So if it looks like you're getting hard countered in the early matchups there, do stay in, see if you can somehow pull it back, because who knows, maybe you have the random 1 hard counter to their 2 remaining Pokemon in your backline. So here we led into Altaria. Now I'm in a very tricky situation here. Do I go down 2 shields to maintain the switch advantage? I choose not to, because I know that if I did that, Altaria could farm me down and Moonblast the Mightyena. So I am unfortunately going to go down to the... I no longer have the switch advantage, sorry, and now they come in with a Walrein. I was expecting that. I go for a crunch, I switch into the Manectric. Can we outpace them to the move? We barely can't, and now unfortunately there's not a lot we can do here. I was hoping that if I got to the Wild Charge first, I would be able to take out the Altaria and then Thunder Fang farm down the Walrein, but unfortunately I'm not able to, and my opponent is going to be able to take out the Mightyena here and take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we lead into an Altaria once again. My opponent is staying in. They are realizing that I'm doing massive fast move damage, but they're choosing to stay in here, which is very strange. We go for the Poison Fang, and we get a shield from my opponent. So I am just going to shield this up, and my opponent switches into a Azumarill, so I'm coming in with the Shadow Manectric here, and I should be able to 1 shield fully farm them down here with the Thunder Fangs. They go for the Hydro Pump, which was a little bit unnecessary, but even if they threw an Ice Beam, I would have been able to take them out anyway. They come in with a Galarian Stunfisk. I'm going straight for the Overheat here. If this lands, it'll do huge damage, but they do shield it. But they allow me to get to a second one, and even though we have debuffed our attack by 2 stages, it still does so much damage. Now we are going to be able to easily Fire Fang, farm down this Stunfisk, take him out here, and then switch into the Mightyena, Ice Fang, farm down the Altaria, and take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we lead into yet another Walrein. So we're going to switch into the Arcanine here once again. My opponent is staying in, and once again, they're going to throw straight away, going for an Ice School Spear here, and actually they're just going to stay in once again. Unfortunately, they do just barely outpace us to the next Ice School Spear, and we're going to go for a crunch here before they can throw another Ice School Spear. My opponent decides to let it go through, which is very nice. They're going to come in with the Talonflame here, and once again we're going for the Wild Charge. There's no point baiting at this low health. We get a shield from my opponent. I actually instantly swap into the Manectric here, trying to force them to throw their energy or just panic, but they do switch out, not throwing their energy. They come in with a Meganium, and unfortunately I didn't think I was going to get to the Overheat before they threw a move, so I went for the Wild Charge, and we still do manage to get the Meganium very low, but they're so close to another Frenzy Plant. If not, they already have it now, and they do throw the move here, so I am going to be forced to shield here. They're going to come back in with the Talonflame. I'm instantly going to swap into the Arcanine. I catch the charge move, but it's just a flame charge, and at this point I didn't even realize they still had a shield remaining, so I go for the poison fang here. I think I've won the game, and then they shield it, and I'm like, oh crap, did I really just do that? Brave Bird takes me out, and I end up losing that game, so GG's there. Even if I didn't throw the move, one more Ice Fang wouldn't have taken them out. In the next game, we lead into a Shadow Machamp, not a very good lead for us, but fortunately they don't have a very good response to Arcanine, so they come in with the Wall Rain here. I go for a crunch on the CMP tie here with a charge move, and it's just an Icicle Spear bait, which is perfect for me. I'm actually going to decide not to shield this move either. I'm hoping that I can come in with the Manectric here and go for a full Thunder Fang farm down. I get the farm down. I'm going straight for a wild charge here up against the Trevenant. We land it. It does massive damage. I switch into the Mightyena. I'm almost able to take him out. I go for a Poison Fang here up against this Machamp. We get the final shield here, and if I can take them out before they get to back-to-back cross chops, then I'm going to be able to take this game. They go for cross chop number 1. I take them out before they get to the next charge move, and I'm able to Thunder Fang, farm down the Trevenant, and take that game. Into the next game, we lead into a Venusaur, so a pretty good lead for us. I would prefer if it was aligned up against the Arcanine, just because we do resist the charge move damage from that heavy hitting Frenzy Plant. They switch into Bastiodon here, so I'm thinking possibly they've got a Galarian Stunfisk in the back, so I'm thinking Arcanine could be extremely strong up against their backline. So I go for a crunch here. I'm going to switch into the Manectric here, trying to Thunder Fang farm them down. They're going to go for a move. I need to save the shields for the Arcanine. Stone Edge doesn't even take us out, and I'm able to take out the Bastiodon without using a shield, which is perfect. And now I come in with the Arcanine here. They're going to throw a move, so I am going to shield this up. They go for a Frenzy Plant bait, and they actually have a Sableye instead of the Galarian Stunfisk, so I wasn't expecting that, but we still should be in a pretty good position here, as long as we can catch the next charge move onto the Mightyena there, and that was perfectly timed, and they had to throw straight away because they were at such low health, so that was perfect. I'm able to farm down the Sableye and farm down the Venusaur and take that game. Now going into the final battle of the video, we lead into a Meganium, so pretty similar. This is a good matchup for us, but I would have preferred if it was up against the Arcanine. We're going to shield this up, and I'm not 100% sure if I can fully farm them down before they get to the next Frenzy Plant, so I go for the Poison Fang here, and my opponent decides just to let the Meganium go down. They come in with a Registeel here. I'm not going to switch out, so I go straight for a crunch here, and I'm just going to let the Registeel throw their energy into this Mightyena. They go for the move here. Zap Cannon takes us out easily. I come in with the Arcanine. Can I Fire Fang, farm them down? No, they just barely get to a charge move, which is really frustrating. They go for a Focus Blast. I'm able to take out the Registeel. They come in with Sableye. They've got 2 shields remaining, but I'm going to go for the crunch in case I get the defense drop, which I do, which is really going to help me out in this matchup. They go for an overfarm before throwing the foul play. I come in with Manectric. Can we Thunder Fang, farm them down? No, they just barely get to one more move. Manectric tanks the move, and we're able to farm them down and take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, then make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And as well, I've noticed that my recent videos have been pushed out to a much wider audience, so if you're not yet subscribed, then make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this in the future. But with that being said, let's get into the shoutouts from my previous video. So firstly, we've got Shea Atif and Curtis Wong, who both say they really want to build a Shadow Sableye, but they're just never going to be able to get the XL candies. And I can tell you from someone who has built a Shadow Sableye, it took me absolutely ages to build it, and actually my Sableye is actually a 0-14-14, so it does go all the way to level 50, and I don't think I have the full amount of XL candies to power up that last level, so I just use it with the Best Buddy boost currently. But yeah, I'm actually working towards a purified Sableye now, so I'm sort of doing it the opposite way to a lot of people who built the purified version first and are now looking for a Shadow. Next, we've got Bobby Benton, who says they are building a Shadow Banette for the Ultra League, and this is a Pokemon that I would really love to use in the Ultra League. I don't think I've got enough Shuppet XL candies currently, but I'm just going to have to go hard during the next Halloween event and hopefully get enough Shuppet XL candies to power one up. And finally, we've got Wildpire, who seems to have listed about 15 different spice picks. Apparently they want to build some more meta Pokemon first, but these are just a handful of choices that they have for the future. And if this is a handful, then they've got some absolutely massive hands, because there's a lot of Pokemon here that are very spicy. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.